Hey there, NECA fans, this is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at NECA's Aliens Xenomorph Warrior action figure. This is in the brand new Aliens line that they've just debuted in 2013. And the first wave includes Hicks, Hicks, Hudson, and the Xenomorph Warrior, or Xenomorph depending on how you want to pronounce it. And here we're showing off the Xenomorph. Now, NECA has done several aliens in the past, but this is the first time that they've really kind of struck again after they started with their new articulation schemes. And this guy looks to be loaded down. I'm very excited to have him in the collection. I do have one other aliens figure that I will be comparing probably at the end of the video, so if you want to see that, stick around, or you can just skip to the end. I don't really care. Aliens up here. The background is just kind of, let's see, I think down here we've got some, yeah, this is a grate that looks like it's been acided through, acidified, I don't really know what you would call that, but like the acid blood dripped down through the floor there. And I can see a little bit more of that in the back in the green, and then there's some blue, like, just lighting up here, looks like laser effects. On the side, we've got a shot of the figure. On the other side, this is kind of neat, they've got, the shots through the cameras, because they all wore those shoulder cams, or helmet cams, I'm sorry. So that's pretty cool. It's got there through Crow T's eyes. So I don't remember which one Crow was, but down on the bottom, we do have credits this time, which is great. Sculpt is Kyle Wendricks and Thomas Gwynn. Paint, John Wardell and Jeffrey Trapp, the guys who've been kicking butt over at NECA lately. It's good to see that they're still including credits where they can. On the back, we've got a little bit, this is kind of, it's not a bio for the figure, it's sort of just a generic catch-all for the movie, just tells a little bit. It does focus a lot on Ripley, so hopefully something at SDCC, we might be able to see a Ripley figure, would be very cool. Word is they are doing a Bishop, so anyway, just kind of neat. That's pretty much it. Standard clamshell from NECA. Let's get him open and see what he's like. So here I have the Xenomorph out of packaging in a sort of, I don't know, recoiling pose a little bit. I was just kind of messing around with some of the joints here, and this guy is pretty impressive. I don't actually know the biology of Xenomorphs enough to say that all the attackers are males and all the females are queens. I don't really know how all that works, but I probably will end up referring to this thing as guy a lot, so if I'm wrong about that, you want to talk about it, you know, hey, there's comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I don't know that much about how these things operate. So this guy is really massive when you get him all stood up right. So I'm going to try and get him into frame here. If I can get his feet and everything all straightened out. There we go. Man, I'm going to pull back a little. Now, one thing that I've already noticed that's really handy about this figure is the tail. In that it is very bendy, and it is not only bendy, but it's a very strong wire, so it's going to help a ton with your balancing poses. If you're not one who wants to like have it whipping around and stuff, like I'll usually just have it on, you know, the ground, so it doesn't really mess with my other figures too much, because I don't want, you know, them getting knocked over or having trouble fitting too many on the shelves. So if you do want to just lay this down or even like bend it to the side or something, that's a very strong bendy material in there, so it will help to balance that figure. So that's pretty cool. I dig that. Now, size-wise, because I haven't opened the Marines yet, but I can show you next to Clubber how huge this guy is. And the still handless engineer here as well. He's actually bigger than the engineer. As huge as the engineer, and this is even with his legs kind of bowed out a little bit. He's not, you know, perfectly straight up. So very, very large figure. Hopefully you can see the height difference there. Just absolutely fantastic. And detail-wise, this guy has just got it going on. He is really, really nice. So to try and get in a little closer, I'm going to pause for a second and we'll be right back. There we are a little closer now. You can see all these really, really nice details that NECA put in here. They just, to me, they just replicated Gear's work just beautifully. Very, very nice stuff that they did there. Really like it. The got the ridge dome, which I believe that was an addition by, was it Stan Winston or Jim Cameron? I can't remember, but it seems like that was how they redesigned it for the Aliens film as opposed to Alien. But very, very nice. As you can see, this is the the brown wash version. They are intending to release a blue wash version down the road, but this first series should all be brown wash. But very, very cool. The I don't know what you want to call these, probosces maybe, off his back. These are all very soft, so you don't have to worry if this guy takes a shelf dive. It's not going to bust one of these off. It's great. This part is a little bit tougher right here, but still, I don't think it would snap too easily. It looks like it is a separately glued piece, so even if it did pop out, I think you could pop it right back in and glue it. But very, very cool. Get you a close-up of his face there. Very nice. The silver teeth and the sinews on the jaw here are kind of a silver or white, maybe. Maybe sort of trying to replicate the more clear look. But very, very cool. They did a great, great job. Big, long fingers. Very cool. 3 fingers on each hand. Got the exoskeleton bone thing sticking out here. Very cool. I just really, really like the look of this guy. He just looks really menacing. It's painted all over with this nice glossy black, and then it's got a wash over that in brown, but I think the brown is also kind of glossy. Either that or they painted it all black and brown and then went over it with a fine gloss, but it's very, very nicely done. Very cool. I dig what they did with the feet, too, with the claw and the 3 toes. No, that's interesting, yeah, no peg holes this time. Usually that's kind of a staple for NECA, but none this time around. Interesting. And then tail comes all the way down. Very, very long tail. They did a really cool job with that. But yeah, looks-wise, this guy is just out of this world. Very cool. Articulation, though, is really where he's going to impress a lot of people, I think. First off, we've got the nice ball-jointed head. So we get nice range down, nice range up, which you are going to bump into this thing a little bit. So that's going to block a little bit of head movement, but you can kind of turn his head to the side here, see like that, and then get a little bit more range. But we've got great tilt action in here. You can see side to side, very nice. And then, of course, left and right and whatnot. The jaws here are connected with a sort of this free-floating piece right here. You see that? And that does allow the jaw to move very freely, so you don't have to worry about anything snapping or breaking. So the jaw opens very, very wide. And inside you'll see this little silver tooth minion, whatever this thing is that always pops out of their mouth. It's really cool. It's kind of hard to get your hands on, but once you get it, you can pop it out. Very cool. The way it's painted kind of makes it look like cookies and cream ice cream. So that's even better, because the only thing cooler than an alien is a cookies and cream alien. And maybe I should edit that part out, because that was probably the worst joke I've done yet. But anyway, it does slide back in, and the jaw closes very smoothly, very nice. All the articulation is pretty smooth. The joints in the shoulders and the hips here are both a little stiffer, but I think that's just to help maintain the posing. But we do have swivel hinges in the shoulders, go all the way around, and they hinge outwards, and you can see they sort of kind of ratchet. Can you hear that? A little bit of ratchet action there. It took me a second to get those to move. I can get it about that far out comfortably before I'm not really sure if it'll go any further, but a very nice range of motion there. Swivels in the biceps, so the arm will go all the way around. We've got double hinged elbows, but there's also a swivel at the top and bottom of the hinge. So the motion on these is perfect because they indented the hinge here. So let me just show you. Boom. Perfect. Look at that. Just perfect little U shape there. That's awesome. And then the rotation also exists. You can see how his arm bicep, or his bicep swivel stays still. He can still rotate at the elbow. And that's on both ends. So very, very cool. Lots of great range of motion in the elbow area. We've got swivel hinges in the wrists, so they go all the way around, and then in very far, and then back very far. Very cool. So you can get them down in, crouching kind of running poses. Very cool. Dig it. We've got a very nicely ball-jointed midsection here, so you can see it's kind of like a chicken head action there. There's like a ball joint here and a ball joint here, so you get very nice side to side. Forward is a little hindered, but back has a very nice range of motion, so very cool there. Swivel hinge, swivel hips, and they are set at 90 degrees, so you can go straight forward. He's got the rubberized diaper. You can see it kind of bunching up there a little bit. Straight back. Diaper hampers it a little bit, but not a lot, so he's still got great motion there. Out to the side, you can hear that ratchet joint again. very far out to the side, and then that swivel in the top of the thigh completes the range of motion on the hips. Very, very cool. We've got double jointed knees down here. You can see it's very hard to see the actual pins there. Very cool. They hid them very well. So first point gets up to there. Already a perfect 90 degrees, actually a little more. Second point will take you all the way to the back of the leg. Very nice range of motion in the knees. I really dig the knees. So with the addition of the foot joint, you can do like a nice little crouching pose. We've got ball joints in the feet. Now this is a softer plastic down here. You can see I kind of moving it around, almost like the Hasbro Marvel Legends joints, which I'm not super fond of, but I guess in the long run that'll make them hold up better if they do shelf dives. But you can see we've got some ball jointed action down here. So a little bit hindered by the sculpt on the back. He's got these little ridges here. So going back, they do block a little bit, but not bad overall. I thought that they would be a little better, but with the addition of the tail, I'm not like super worried about it. I think they'll probably move. I mean, you can see that. That's pretty good range there. But you kind of have to work with them because they are this softer plastic. It does kind of feel like it wants to break, but I think it's just because I'm more used to NECA using very tough plastic. So you also have rotation there, so no problems there. And then you have a hinge in the middle of the foot that has a very nice range of motion. And as I said, you can do that crouching pose. And if you line the feet up, get a very nice crouching position there, and you can use the tail to help you balance it. So very, very cool. Just outstanding range of motion. And it's all pretty fluid too. The more I work with the hips and the shoulders and free those up, they're getting a lot smoother as well. So it's not too hard to put it in a pretty cool attack pose or anything like that. Shoulders still a little bit stiff, but not too bad. So get the jaw going there and the tail out to kind of help him stand up, and you know, not a really great pose, but just to show you how easy it is to kind of get him into a simple pose. You know, it's not too tough. So I got this from Corner Store Comics, just because I didn't want to wait to get them in stores. I was very excited about this wave, especially Hudson and Hicks. Very excited to get them out of the package. But I believe I paid about $17 or $18 per figure. I don't know the exact figure. I will look it up and put it down below so you can see. But basically, if you can get this guy for $20, you're still getting a great deal. Like a great deal. Like, this is a really excellent action figure. A lot of engineering went into it. Great articulation. The plastic is a little bit soft. You can see his right leg kind of bows a little bit. So that's a little bit of a bummer for me, but nothing like major. Like, this is an outstanding action figure. Highly recommended to anybody who can get their hands on it. If you're just going to get one or two, I wouldn't think 22 or 25 would be out of the question for a figure of this caliber. I know that's a lot, but you know, it is a really outstanding action figure. If you're going to get, you know, several of these, you might want to just keep an eye out on your local store shelves. I'm guessing they're probably going to be about 15 to 18 bucks at Toys R Us. So let me pull back just a little bit. Get my camera set up here, and we will move in our 1979 Alien figure. So here's the previous NECA Alien figure. I got this in the 2-pack with the Predator. So this is the only other Alien figure I have, but you can see, you know, a lot of the similarities in sculpt-wise and everything. You know, with the rib cages and the arms and everything. I think a lot of the bodysuit was very similar from Alien to Aliens, but they have done a lot of improvement on the sculpt. But really, the huge draw here is going to be articulation, absolutely. Like, this guy had the V-hips down here and the thigh cuts. So it's not like the thigh cuts are really noticeable or anything, but the V-hips, once you kind of like try to start straightening them up, they get kind of awkward. You don't know really how to, if you line them up straight, his legs are kind of at weird angles. So I think if I line this one up with the lines, he's kind of doing like the pee-pee dance, and nobody wants to see that in Aliens. You want them to be scary and cool. And the other big thing is the ankles on these were just a straight up hinge ankle. So forward and back. This one has a much more dynamic range. Even though I said they're a little bit harder to work with than some NECA ankles, I do think they have a really nice range of motion. And I think the more I mess with them, like, I'm even getting that's a pretty dynamic range right there. I mean, that's pretty good. Forward and back could still use a little work, but certainly not bad, and way better than this guy. But yeah, if you can get this guy anywhere from 15 to 25, I'd say you're getting a pretty good deal, still staying within the bargain range. So yeah, if you get the opportunity to pick them up, I highly recommend it. Stick around because I am going to do Hudson and Hicks. We can see how the aliens match up to the Colonial Marines. So very exciting. Yeah. Any questions or comments, throw them in the box below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. Anything that I may have skipped over, because I am excited to have this figure, so I may have just been rambling. Who knows? This whole, 10 minutes has just been a blur. It's probably been 20 minutes for all I know. Who can keep track? But yeah, anything at all, please throw it in the box below. I'd be glad to help you out. I would like you to purchase this figure if you have the means to do so. So yeah, hit me up. I'll answer them. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you later. Peace out, guys. Have a good one.